Welcome back. I have a drone, one of my drones on the table. This drone is kind of semi-retired. It still flies, but it shouldn't somehow, but it does. 413. I've got to get my finger pointing right because I'm pointing this way because obviously we have a screen under the camera, but I'm looking at myself in reverse. 413 days since we could draw on a map, people. 413 days. Since we started the show, it's changed. It has increased. Now, we've got some Counter-Strike to play. We have a third map to play. Actually, hold on a second. No, it hasn't increased. It increases in a few hours. What I'm talking about. I'm lying. I didn't mean to lie. Sincerely apologize. It'll be 414 days by the time we're done with North America. But anyway, big nip, nuke. What are we thinking? What are we thinking?
I think I'm going to have to go with Nip.
Yeah.
I think Nuke's one of those maps where you get rewarded for having an exec-based T-strat or exec-based system on T-side, in which Nip showed that they have on Mirage. Nip have also been historically good on that map. They play a lot of Nuke, although Big looked pretty decent on Nuke yesterday as well. That was the third map, or that was the map they won yesterday, or the previous series. So, but I'm gonna have to stick with Nip. I think they're gonna recover. I think this is a good map for them, and I want to see Forrest step up. Couldn't really find his pacing this previous match, so but I think Nuke's one of those maps you can recover on.
What say you, Dan?
I think NIP will have a pretty good time here. I think they got pretty unfortunate with some of the ways that things started off in Inferno. Didn't have a lot of great spots. However, you know, Big, to their credit, played it out very well. Just that I kind of echo the sentiments of Ron here, talking about the fact that NIP historically have found identity on this map. I think it's a map they'll be a lot more comfortable with. I think their T side will be really interesting. Because it does seem like they are incorporating more set pieces into their general play and thinking more along those lines in their T-side game plan, which encourages me because NIP were historically also always like pretty damn good on the CT side because they're great aimers, they have good communication, they understand the rotations on a map like Nuke, so I feel like they'll be pretty well-rounded here.
A few people have been asking me on Twitter where they can get copies of these pieces of art. These are done by a chap called Wheezy T. You can find him on Twitter if you just search Wheezy_T. Production are roasting Dan.
There's marks on it. I'm cleaning it for you. Why is the black stuff on it?
It's anti-glare, Dan. To stop reflections.
There's specks on it and stuff.
Are you listening to what people are saying? You see on the screen how it's not reflecting?
Yeah.
Throw. Okay, if we go top-down cam, get my mug out of the way. This is what it is. Dulling spray, Dan. Just like in your brain. It's on the glass to stop it from reflecting on the camera.
But why is there marks on it? Look,
because it's got the dulling spray on it, Dan. This is what's on it. This is the black stuff you're talking about.
There's stuff that's not black on there too. I feel like you haven't even looked at it.
They're not anti-Daniel spray.
Show me some knives, man. Get me away from this man.
Saying you guys got to clean the studio better.
I just can't.
That's a nice knife round. Going to Big. That's important on this map. Heavily CT-sided. Daniel's continuing to investigate the anti-doling spray.
What that is.
And we see Lekro here. He's the one with the set of nades. Probably going to open the door with the nade. They are going to commit to the fast outside. Ooh, straight to lower.
Always a good plan. Tizian has his USB skills tested, and he won't pass today. And this is actually not the worst situation ever for Big. They do have some decent positioning here for the flank. But one player lower at least, although they don't have control of decontamination. They are ready to pounce onto Nip. Tabson has a smoke in kit. And obviously that's going to be important. He'll be coming from ramp. Now this comes down to the headshots. It's that first test here for Big on the retake. Looks like he's going to do a good job. Trace will follow though as they big team trying to make their way onto these positions. It's not working out at all. Let's just tap it. 2 HP. Ooh, gets another kill out of it. That's not bad. Good round from NIP. And this, again, is going to be interesting because they'll start off with money. We get to see how, the ideal scenario for their game plan on the T side.
Yeah, and Big, they had it. I forgot who the first CT player was in ramp. He had an opportunity to pick up some multi-kills. He got the smoke down in time, got the first kill instantly, and just couldn't connect on the second. And then the remaining CT player is not able to rotate under ladder in time. So that fake upper did pull all the distraction. And then a 4-on-4 retake lower, it's possible.
Right then, what do we have here for Big? 3 HE grenades still on deck. If they went in this direction, that would be fantastic. But none of Big held at the moment. NIP anti-force by territory. Twist goes first with the MAC-10, of which there are 2. And there's 1 HE deployed by Big. I am very curious to see what they have in store for the other one. So even with the absence of Gob B, we still have that fine detail here and there for Big. Next with another HE grenade. Trying to deploy it. Very well timed indeed. Twist goes flying. 4 players still remaining. Rez, fast moving, realizes the urgency, swings on the vent. This Rhea will be devoid of oxygen. 2-0 for NIP.
Smart audible from Nip, recognizing that there's at least 2, if not 3 lower. And as soon as Twist got taken out, they just instantly booked it. And Rez, smart play coming out hut and clearing that out, shooting to people on the side. And we see Big here with 40 chi nades, probably going to throw those instantly outside. So we'll see if Nip smartly takes it slow or if they're going to run into that.
Yeah. Here we go. There's a deployment of all the HEs. Not too much of a connection though. And once you throw those, there's a lot of information, and with the silo control that NIP have, they'll have the greatest vantage point to deal with that, and they take almost no damage. It is, the idea makes sense though. A lot of anti-eco rounds focus on outside control, and you build it into heaven control, which is how you then finish the round as a T side. So definitely understandable. But I think one thing that would have been cooler to see from Big, that we're seeing more these days, is maybe one guy throws a first nade and then tries to draw some attention, and then the T side lower their guard, come in with the rest of the players. That first player is far forward enough to then call for the next HEs to be thrown.
I think that you should have one player spotting from garage, only the silo, and when you see a T on silo, then you should throw the grenades. That's what I think people should do.
Something to that effect.
I'm curious to see how it goes. Anyway, NIP and Big find themselves both on the buy round. Grenades being lined up for the wall of smoke outside. Will there be a delay for a Molotov? One, then the other one. Oh, they've got their Mickey Mouse ears. But Smia's got to pick through the squeaky door, and that's Rez keeping the lobby area honest. I wonder how daring Big will be in that lobby position now they've picked Rez off. Smia makes his way to the low ground. There's a big spread of NIP players outside, and surely this encourages a play forward in the lobby for some information. Xantara's rotating off the ramp. He sees the shadows. There's a ding-dong from Forest, though. And now only 3 big players remain. Forest shooting the glass, which could suggest that's on B. Making his way towards heaven now. So much time on the clock for the Swedes.
We'll see how the timing works here. Smuya, he's going to push, try to get info, and he gets punished. But 3 of the players on Nip, super low, pretty much 1 hit. And luckily they go lower. But Tizzy in here, if he can get this entry, gets caught looking at the wrong angle. And we'll see Nex here saving. Great round there by Nip, good smokes. They were able to get into the garage, and fortunately for them, they caught the CT player in the open, trying to rotate from under ladder to CT, which opens up that whole under heaven area.
It wouldn't surprise me on the next buy round of Big if we'll see NIP heading up an upper set piece or something like that now, because we haven't seen a really fast set piece yet from NIP, and those can be quite devastating.
And we saw from Mirage how they like to start their matches with set pieces and switch things up.
NIP doing a really good job preventing a loss of life. There's only 5 deaths collected between the players. Or 6 deaths, it seems. Oh no, 5. Lekra yet to die. Lekra yet to be fragged. 9-0. So here is the half buy. Gets a similar approach as to the previous round outside that we saw, where there was 4 HEs collected by Big. Outside control. Now, given that there are deagles on the map, I wonder if NIP will go for heaven control, or how they'll decide to handle this one. Forest actually looking into main, going into main actually, and looking around the A bomb site. That's actually. I think he feels like he's got something here. Knows there's going to be a player somewhere, and he's going to find him. I don't know if the plan was to go upper, but Forrest has opened it up. He's took the opportunity.
Yeah, he seems to be the point man in this NIP. On the T side, very aggressive plays being made by Forest. It'll work out here. 5-0, max loss bonus for Big. They will have all the toys, all the bits and bobs they want. A timeout. Do they go for 2 AWPs? Will it be just the one?
And
This timeout from Big is interesting because it may change NIP's expectations. They may expect an aggressive play somewhere at a timing like this.
yeah, typically, yeah, when the CTs take a timeout like this, obviously they're trying to talk about what they're trying to do. And sometimes a good counter when you're on T side is to do something like an upper rush or rush ramp. Especially when you've shown that you like to work outside the 2 previous gun rounds. So maybe they'll just completely switch it up and just do something random and do like a timing tempo rush strat.
Still hoping for the upper set piece. I really want to see it. So we'll find out soon enough. Outside smokes here for NIP to be deployed first. So they'll at least make it look somewhat deep. Whether or not it actually ends up being that, we'll find out soon enough. You can see that they are very passive. Lobby control to cover for pushes from ramp. Twist looking from T-spawn effectively down towards outside. Here are the outside smokes that will connect from red container to secret.
I don't believe that these have been challenged by CT incendiaries just yet. Santorez with a late smoke around the ramp position. Seems there will be an execute towards A, so initial grenades into A, exhaust some of the utility for Big. You see there's a Molotov inside the hut, so you can see we're holding on for that.
Yeah, but
Playing
no
that
molly
respect.
hut.
Oh, they're coming through that squeaky position. 3 versus 2. Santorez creeping up the ladder, but he'll have to wait. Bomb's on the floor. 40 seconds. Smuya's creeping as well. There's a great angle on that bomb. Plopsky might walk straight into his crosshairs, into his reticle. But Twist will have a superior angle. And IP will come out on top. I think there was a Molotov inside hut.
On top of hut.
On top of hut? Oh, no, you were saying no molly on hut?
Yeah.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, that's one you usually prioritize. That's such a strong angle for CTs.
Drew the silo one instead, which is interesting.
Yeah, and NIP, they were able to get out when the trades. NIP did throw some flashes, so maybe that was enough space created for them to get out those angles.
This feels like a really fast 6-0. I don't feel like we've been in this map for that long. But that's a huge lead on the T side.
The NIP's game plan, they're just running their game plan right now. It's really cool. But that previous round, we saw the passive default. Lots of time spent just hanging out. Then it's not quite the set piece we're thinking about, but they do run a very fast upper play. Just burst on it, and Big were not ready for it, it seemed. And NIP trade out successfully. They're working really well as a team right now.
Definitely all on the same page. But suddenly, those are rifles dropped. They are advanced into a position to plant the bomb. Nice pick by Smooya. Yeah, Plopsky playing it smart. He needs to wait for his teammate to get the next kill.
Tabson remains around the vents, bomb planted. Maybe taking Lecro out is enough to give him an opportunity. Creeping slowly. I hope the glass is broken. It is. That gives him more room for maneuver. Plopsky underneath him now. Does he know for sure that he's on the site somewhere? There's a blind spot right to his left, and that's exactly where Plopsky is. Plopsky looking up, and there's Tabson to deliver that final frag, and that's going to be the first round on the board for Big. There's enough time to defuse the bomb. Only one player surviving, though. It is the worst way to win your first round on a CT side. It can lead to disaster.
That was smart. He saw where the bomb was planted, and there's only two positions that the T could have remained. One in that back corner and one under in dark. He perfectly clears that angle. It's the AK headshot.
You guys remember when there was like that extra room, like at the
In Toxic?
yeah.
Oh, the other double doors next to the ramp.
Yeah, that room was OP.
That was a lot.
Yeah.
That was a lot. Both teams on the buy once again, but indeed it is very important Big with a clean $30,000 in utility, weaponry, Kevlar and so on. Very important they win this one. They need to get some momentum out of this CT half, as well as rounds. Forrest loves his rusty knives.
I was going to mention that last map. All about
Rusty
the rusty knife. Strange choice, but he enjoys that aesthetic, it seems. His gloves also kind of same appearance, similar appearance.
Nope, it looks like they're throwing the late outside smokes again. And they're shifting heavy outside. We'll see what Tabs can do. Last time Nip did this, they actually went into warehouse, and if they do that, Tabs will have the perfect angle on him.
See elevation on Twist. Darcy heard it. Looks like he wants to creep through the smoke with no flashbang from anyone. And it will prove costly. There's the 5 versus 4. But look at the time on the clock. There's 35 seconds on the clock. Next has to hold down the squeaky position. He will do it for now. A forward play from Big in response to the loss outside. NIP have got 25 seconds to make a play. 3 players on the A bomb site, and it might be 4 pushing in for NIP, but they're really slowing this down, waiting for the smoke. There's an opening kill onto A. The trades will be very, very quick. 15 seconds. We've got a peek from heaven. Smooya delivers a kill. Molotov to stop the plant. Is it fast enough though? Zantares will take out the bomb planter, leaving Plopsky alone, avoiding the flashbangs. Smooya showing some presence, deploying more and more grenades. Do they know where Plopsky is? He wasn't the one planting the bomb. It seems they do. Zantares is creeping. Smooya baiting with a P250. And there is the headshot. A second round for Big. I'm not sure they survived with enough players, but a round is a round, and that has to be the focus for now.
Yeah, that's definitely an important pickup. NIP though, you know, as you said, like even though they're losing these rounds, they're able to find opportunity, do damage, get bomb plants. They're creating a lot of problems. It really still feels heavily favored in terms of what they're delivering, and Big are struggling to stop NIP before they get to this phase of their game plan within a round, whereby they're gonna do all that damage. Like, you know, how do you throw off the D4? How do you get advantage in the early or mid round? That's what Big still are unable to consistently be able to find, and it's a very fast run outside without any smoke coverage down secret, and I don't know that the Big have any idea about this.
Rez in the anti-eco spot. Doesn't get his spray in the right place. Everything goes quiet. Who makes the next play? Looks like it's Tizian. Again, with Rez being taken in that position, that's a lot of information. That's where you play when no one else is there. It's not really safe for you to go further. So you want to hold a position where you can fall back. So, smart aggression from Big. They take lobby. They tell ninjas that it's a no-go area, so With no presence in lobby and all that information known, what is the play for Ninjas in Pajamas? Do they feel like they're funneled into one position, or do they try to fight against that and go somewhere else?
Yeah, and I think they have to be funneled to lower. They just don't have enough time to work anywhere else. We'll see if they do have the utility here to finish into lower. If they can molly off this angle that Tapson's in, if they can smoke off the other side and get the trade on Zantares. Tapson barely gets away with his life there. And Zantares, ooh, he gets shot through the smoke. That's unfortunate. There's 10 seconds.
Huge opportunity here. Just Tizian remaining. Ooh, had to win that one, but the trade actually was ready. So NIP will secure it.
And NIP, they were in a dire situation and somehow they made it work. I think that kill right there on Zantares was a big one. Zantares was in the anchoring position. He had the opportunity to hold down the site and they just get outshot.
Yeah, NIP are doing a really good job in terms of outshooting their opponents right now. It feels like it's definitely a team effort at this point from NIP. Everybody's really pitching in. Aggression outside with Smuya there around the red container with the AWP. This has to yield a result, but he's actually a little bit slow, it seems, as the NIP players will go on the other side of the smoke, but Tapson will have coverage of that. Smuya back through the smoke. Definitely hearing the running, the jumping. He's got to be very careful. Not scoping it, doesn't want to give a sound cue away.
I like the quick response there from Samir to just pull his knife out and turn away, because he was exposed to silo if he holds the angle on T-Red. Minutes on the clock. And big wait. This is pretty nervous. I feel like some of these rounds where your opponent has less weaponry and more nervous than when they have, you can almost have better expectations versus a full buy than 2 rifles and 2 pistols. Elecro's in an important position. He's looking for a multi-frag. He's about to get it as well, even though Smuya crouched. Good awareness, but such a bad position for him. That turns everything around. The A site now completely taken by NIP. Now it's just Zantares with Desert Eagle. Not much he can really hope to do. Probably worth holding onto his Kevlar, try and save a weapon. Not really a question of damage to the T economy when you're only such in a bad spot, but it's not a bad start. Before he can take a shot, oh, it was close. But Forrest will stop him from taking that away.
Big win. NIP don't really look like they're contested at all here. Big, it looks like Big are searching for ways to deal with this again, like trying to maybe disrupt NIP in phase 1 or phase 2, early or and mid rounds, but they can't find it. We had aggression outside from Smuya, and it's just like this stuff is not working right now.
Yeah, Nips mid and late game too strong. They're winning the duels as well.
Rough CT side for Big. 2 smokes and HE grenades. And pistols here and there. Anti-eco territory. I'm not even sure how many rounds Big have had a full buy in so far, but it doesn't feel like it's that many. Minute 25 and 9p, they blow off Squeaky Door. Looks like they want to put some smoke grenades outside. A few of them are tagged now, but it could be a lot worse. There's the first, there's the second. Lecro clearing the dangerous areas. That sound will be heard by the player in Mini. Not sure what he can actually do about it though. Again, it is a waiting game for Big in such a situation.
I think that goes behind the silos, yeah. I'm actually really enjoying that mod. You don't see it too commonly. Usually the hut one is the one that's always tossed, but first opts to that one instead. And perhaps it's because they feel like they have a push which really deals with that. They have more players coming through hut and main, or rather, sorry, Squeaky and main, as opposed to more coming through hut. So perhaps that's part of the reason they just feel like the way that they're splitting their players. Because I noticed that previously when they went upper, they often send like 3 through Squeaky at least. They're like 1 coming through main.
Yeah, and that's twice they've hit upper like that, prioritizing those mollies. And as long as everyone realizes what's open and what's not, it certainly helps to know what angles to look at when you take the site. And Nip, they're looking super strong. I mean, that was just a super clean hit upper. Everyone knew what they were doing. Mollies were thrown, people were taking the site, advancing. And it was a perfect squeeze.
Earlier this week, I forget the matchup, but we saw a game of Nuke where I think both T sides were quite dominant. I don't know that I expect that to happen in this particular matchup, though. I think Big are in a hell of a lot of trouble. I mean, by default, you always are if you're going into the second half with a score like this. I don't know that we're going to see a repeat performance. Santares, oh, he's got caught with his knife out, trying to rotate the... Well, he's asking for too much, really. Now, this is allowing NIP to charge towards the B bomb site, taking control of control. There is going to be a challenge, however, from Tabson. Doesn't last very long versus the Creek, but Tizian can trade, as can Forest. Next holds down Decon. Still a man advantage for NIP. Bomb planted very fast indeed.
And there might be a backstab. No, Forest looks the wrong way first. Next thing we'll have to able to survive for just a moment longer, but that comes to an end, of course. And yeah, it's really cool to see the way that NIP are executing into the A side. I think part of it's interesting as well because, you know, when I watch them their Nuke in future, I'm gonna be looking to see how their execute changes or how they mix it up, because like you can see that the theory of if you Molotov behind the silos and you have a really sick swing so that the hot player's not really going to get very much because your players are all effectively coming from one angle, main and squeaky. That's really strong. But what if you know that they're doing that? You know, what if you have time to think about it? You don't play a player in that position. Like, you know, you have more preparation in how to deal with that kind of a push. Yeah, NIP going to switch things up.
Yeah. And Nip, that was a nice change of pace. They had success in upper, just doing a simple upper fake, and I wonder if that miscommunication of the language translation caught Centaurus off guard, because he was convinced that they were hitting upper. And unfortunately for him, he just gets caught rotating, and it was easy ramp take. When you're the solo ramp player like that, and you just give him ramp to lower without any time for your CT players to rotate, it's you know,
Fatal.
it's fatal, yeah.
There's an aggressive play. Red struggling to hold the lobby once again. Nice flick from Smuya. This round starts to look good. There's a lot of time on the clock for Nip, but can they protect these weapons? So many different angles for Big to play with as well. Both going to hunt that kill. Don't take too much damage, but again, there's a flank they may not be expecting. I'm not sure if Tizian's made any sounds. Ninja's swarming into the B bomb site, but as they press forward, will anybody look behind? Oh, he just lined up the headshot. Stereo frags for Ninjas in Pajamas from Plopsky alone. Krieg has been collected by Nex. This is 50-50 now. Santares going for the flicks with the AWP. Plopsky moving forward. Very vulnerable position. Nex comes down the ramp as well, though I don't think they know that just yet. Lekra with the bomb. Plopsky entertaining. AWP, not Santares' main weapon. There is a bomb planted. Lekra 1 versus 2. Both CTs in the B bomb site. He's really going for that rotation to the high ground, but here they come. Shotgun mode with the AWP. Can he get away fast enough? Oh, he's scary with the... Oh, he's through the wall. He's going to tag him just to 81. He really just needs to hold an angle and fire him. The chase from Santares. That was really, really scary. Lekra's got to be laughing after that one.
Oh man, that feeling of someone's chasing you. You know, that like kind of tense feeling.
Pulling out a grenade in a situation like that takes so long.
And taking the wall shot?
Yeah, that's absolutely bananas. But honestly, it feels like a complete eternity when you pull a grenade out in such a situation. It allows them to catch up so quickly. Always catches people off guard. They realize just how dangerous it is. Twist is 6 for 6 in 13 rounds.
Well, Nekro is 20 for 5, so I guess it works out. Forest 15 for 4. Damn.
That's impressively low on both ends of the scale. 6-4-6.
Yeah, and they've won so many rounds by elimination as well. It's definitely a strong NIPT side. Big in 2 rounds. That's so bad for a CT side of Nuke. It's going to be hard to recover. Absent. It's going to hear the connection then, knows that there's a bunch of players here. Might not matter because the spacing is good for NIP. Plopsy gets the first pick and then they can swing on to Tabson. And they've unlocked the lower bomb site and they got those kills so quickly they don't really have quite the time to respond. And Smooya gets caught outside by a late lurk from Rez. And that is a huge issue. Oh no.
That's a really sick lurk from Rez. Holding down a secret position. He's reset the situation again. Tizian looks the wrong way. Marvelous work from Rez. And that's something people will have to adjust to. It's not going to be get right doing the lurking anymore. So you'll see you may see drastically different plays than what you're used to. And sometimes it's just needed to refresh your strats, your setup to find some more success.
Yeah, definitely. Teams will have more trouble reading into what NIP's going to do when there's roles and positions switched.
Yeah, and that
when
has
you
been
have
a
the
big issue for
scoreboard
them.
and you're in those clutch situations, you're really not sure who's going to be where sometimes.
Last round of the first half. Tizian on the roof with the auto shotgun. Another roof play. Was that Tabson on the roof of Garage? Looks like it was. That's a high risk, low frequency position these days. And has ended as it normally does. Boys ready to line up that grenade behind the silo once again. The Molotov. Tizian half flashed. Does he expect a second flashbang? Next in main, that's a lot of information with this forward position. Looking to engage with the fast fire rate of the MP9. Ooh, Forrest just lost half his health jumping off the roof. You can slide off the doors to negate the damage.
So much position here for NIP to work from. And you can look how antsy Big are right now. They know something's brewing, but they don't have much to defend it with. Timely peek, but Forrest ready. Now Tizian with the auto shotgun. That's great. Execution style with the instant headshot. Now trying to creep
They
around
should
the
go
back.
lower. Yeah, nice.
And Klopsky was already down there too, so it's a great way to, like, the NIP have given themselves a great plan B if things go wrong, and here it is.
On the ramp is Klopsky, does great damage to the transfer, 5 HP for Smooya. The 1 versus 2, has no idea what either player is. And there we go, 13 for 2 on the T side of Nuke. NIP storming their way to a potential victory in the second half. A few minutes until we find out if they can do it.
Up your game. 128 service for the smoothest, most responsive gaming experience ever. Ensure you game seamlessly with our state-of-the-art FACEIT anti-cheat. Track your progress with advanced stats within your community, country, or region. This is the true ranked experience. Sign up now at FACEIT.com.
Cool, right? Want to know where I got it? Well, look, go to cs.money. It's a trade platform and a marketplace at the same time. Just choose, click, and get. Good luck, bro.
2-13. The pistol is very much needed for Big. Tizian with a bunch of grenades, as does Tabson have a bunch of grenades and a P250. Tizian trying to run distraction, but Forrest here is a great many players looking for a headshot, but he will be the recipient rather than the deliverer. Topsky, oh, that's all good for him. Tried to break control. I think there was a glass sound from somewhere else, and he thought he'd break the glass. That'll delay him a little. 3 players remain. Twist takes Tizian out by the ramp. Again, Big. They really need to convert this pistol round, showing plenty of presence. But are they going to try and rotate towards A, or what are they going to try and do? Santaro's creeping in control. Finally delivers the headshot. 3 versus 2. This could still swing back in favor of NIP. So what did Big choose to do?
Yeah, I think assessing whether they want to switch it back upstairs, because you know that a player has implanted himself on the lower bomb site, and oh, this is very interesting. Ooh, oh my god, that is so weird. That is so weird. I can't believe Twist goes for that instead of the other couple players he had. But it's fine, isn't it? NIP is still so far ahead. Big, they win the must-win pistol, and they get a chance. They get at least a chance to bring themselves back into this one. However, we will get a force buy for NIP, so with the force, there is danger.
I'm wondering why he didn't just sit above the vent.
Yeah.
It's questionable. His teammate was already lower, and all he had to do was watch upper.
10-round lead for Ninjas in Pajamas. Big have much to do. Room for accidents is minimal. We see a Molotov. Who threw the Molotov? Was that part of their execute?
Yeah, wondering because I don't know.
Because the smoke landed perfectly, and it wouldn't surprise me if Big were doing that. I didn't see the trajectory, but there's no gap in those smokes.
Well, as Deagle's lurking, Lekker's going to push forwards here to see what he can find. One headshot at this stage of the round is crippling, especially considering every player has grenades. Oh, it's Twist and Forrest to get the kills though. And
Oh my god!
what on earth was that?
He's still going! Forrest, what are you
pushing
doing?
forwards, and he's going to win the round with the help of Rez. That didn't make sense.
That was nasty.
That didn't make sense. It didn't look like his crosshair was actually there, or that he had an angle.
Oh my god,
Oh
jeez.
my god. This is why he's
That is
Forrest.
unreal.
Forrest, by the way, gets so many clips on Nuke. He really does.
Oh my god.
Wow.
What can you do about that? You can't do anything about that.
Oh, Forrest. It's overtaken Lekro now, 22 for 7. For Forrest, 21 for 7 for Lekro. Rez wants to get up there with them, but it's not going to happen. Good play from Lekro outside, and Big, they're trying to do what they can, but it feels like the House of Cards is collapsing. Topsky with the flank. Oh, Sweeter though, ready for the flank. This has just turned into a DM server this round.
Crazy.
Yeah, I think Nip just wants to close in. I think Big is, after getting destroyed that previous round.
But it's like a tilt mode situation.
Ooh.
Fortunate for Big.
Let's do.
There we go, match point for NIP just like that. It does feel like when Forrest gets those kills, like the game is over. It does feel like that. I don't know
Yeah.
how they feel about it, but they can't be too happy.
You have to respect it, man. If it's Forrest doing it, you gotta respect it. He's too tenured in this game. All you can do is pay your respect. Press the F button, boys and girls. Down goes Nex. IP a little closer to a solid victory. Feels like Big's wins and losses have been there's been a margin one way or another. But I think they've come to the end of the road here. HE grenade from Tizian. Tabson and Zantares remain looking for their first entry. Zantares creeping in. And then it's Tabson. He's been seen outside, tagged down to half health, and that's a wrap. 16-3, NIP deleting Big on Nuke.
Yeah.
This These replays, Dan, are brought to you by NVIDIA.
A T side that was simply too much to handle was the story of this map. NIP really just blitzing through. Their game plan from start to finish was pretty excellent. And when Big seemed to get a look in, and they seemed to get a couple rounds together, they still couldn't figure out exactly how to throw NIP's game plan off. And that was really the end of things for the entire map.
Yeah, Nip showing excellent display of a deep strat book. They're able to hit upper with those mollies and squeeze from hut, door, and mini. They threw in some outside strats, taking secret with those cross smokes. Showing also an upper fake to round. So well played from Nip.
Those damage values definitely don't make sense.
Yeah, ignore this. Everyone's got a 0% headshot ratio. I don't think that's correct. Well, anyway, we can take a look at the bracket and see what the meaning of this is. Ninjas in Pajamas have taken a giant step forward. And it's good. It's great to see them having a strong performance. Yes, it was 3 maps, but that was a strong last map. That is quite the statement as they move forward to face Mix tomorrow. I think that is an interesting matchup. From what we've seen from Mix, I'm really interested to see that matchup. And yeah, I'm looking forward to that. I'm excited. But now it's time for the HyperX X Factor play of the game. Maybe it's Forest with that CZ, because really that just stops any kind of a comeback, any semblance of a comeback from Big.
Ah, yes. It's a 2v1. Flecker getting chased. And he seemed to, at all times, have after, he understands the second player is there, he has a very good understanding of exactly how much time he has. And also one thing here is that he gets to run with the knife and every so often switch to the AWP for extra speed, whereas Xantares has to keep his M4 out, so he's going to be running a little bit slower.
And here's an honorary mention for Forest. They kept it in as well, because this really just completely shut down any kind of action from Big in that second half. So that's a huge play as well, and deserving of, I think, our first honorary mention. So props to both of those guys. Pip to the post for us. Unlucky for you. Well, we saw the bracket. We know what the final is tomorrow, but now we have North America to come, and that's coming up almost immediately. But don't forget, though, for you Europeans who may not be staying up for the whole duration, there are ECS Cups. Look out for them on the FACEIT platform. In your search bar, put in ECS. You can find all the information. You can find the hubs. You can follow the ECS account as well. That's pretty cool that you can follow different accounts. I've got loads of people following mine. All they're going to see is my elos slowly going down more than it goes up, but I think people enjoy that for some perverted reason. I don't know what's wrong with you guys. Anyway, we will be back in 6 to 10 minutes for some North American action, so don't go too far because there is more carnage to come.